Back to the future. Back to the future. Back to the future. Yeah. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Scott. Here are the bricks. Now let's go on to review. Today we have 21103, the Back to the Future Time Machine. It's the DeLorean, as released from LEGO Ideas back in 2013 for retail of $35. And man, this right here is the definition of dropping the ball. This is the equivalent of you asking your mom for Dr. Pepper and she telling you that there's Dr. Bob at home. This is the equivalent of you getting a running start and immediately tripping on your fucking face. This was given to LEGO on a silver platter and they fucked it up, man. They just threw that shit to the ground. All in the name of cutting cost and cutting corners just to get it down to a reasonable price. Now, to be honest with you, the original design looks way more like the DeLorean and looks way better than what this is given to us. And I understand why LEGO probably had to do this, but it just doesn't come out right. It doesn't translate right. It's not what the fans wanted. People complain about the Republican gunship and not getting good minifigures with this set, but this is something they should also complain about because they really did butcher this set. I mean, just look at the original one. It looks way better. They did add some more detail, and later on they did redeem themselves with the other DeLorean they released, which is kind of cool. But that's $200. This thing is $35. It's a Speed Champion-esque design. It has the 8 wide, and it can fit almost anywhere. It doesn't take up a lot of space. And awesomely, which I'll give them credit this too, 1% of the proceeds from the set actually went to Michael J. Fox's Parkinson's disease fundraiser or charity, and that's actually pretty dope. But this just makes sense economically for fans, people who can't afford $200. You get 2 minifigures with the whole thing too, as well, and a wonderful little skateboard accessory, and a cool booklet which has a lot of information. I have kept the box because I bought this back in 2014, and I just really like the display of it. I don't really have any other boxes for LEGO technically, so this is one of the other ones that I've kept, and I just really enjoyed it, and that's just how much I actually adore the set. But getting into the history of the set, like, damn, man, they really did fuck this up. Okay, so before I really jump into the set itself, I want to go over this a little bit. These are some details that they've included with the set, and I actually think it's really awesome because they give you some customization with the set. And to me, that's really cool. I'm really happy they did that and they kept with the LEGO Ideas because you get the 3 different variants of the time machine. You get the Back to the Future 1, Back to the Future Part 2, and then Part 3 with all the different add-ons, except the only downside is this one. I think Part 3 is probably my least favorite one, and I'll explain that in a minute. And you have some wonderful details. So you have the time machine right here, which actually has the date of the first, well, it's actually when LEGO patented their brick officially. The system, that's the patent date, is pretty cool. Then you have the 2015 license plate, which is pretty awesome. Then you have the at a time one from, what was that, 1984, am I correct? And then over here is the flux capacitor, which had a misspelling when it was originally released in the first wave, and it was the misspelled shield. This one is spelled correctly, so it obviously was a second wave release of it. So I bought this in 2014 to make sense. I was kind of hoping it was 2013, so I had that, but to be honest with you, that's just one more thing they fucked up on the set. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's get into some minifigures. Okay, so for minifigures, they didn't really fuck this up that hard. So they have 2 minifigures with the set. I kind of wish I had Einstein with it because they just make more sense, especially since that's what the gear we're wearing. Einstein was in the scene, and we'll get into that in a minute. But we do have 2. We have Marty McFly and Dr. Emmett Brown, who, this is actually their first time being in minifigure form, and I think they had remakes when they came back with LEGO Dimensions. So, actually comparing these minifigures to the ones came from LEGO Ideas, I do think these ones look better and more presentable and actually look like LEGO, but I'll give you something that LEGO Ideas has on top of this. They only give you the Dr. Emmett Brown from the first movie when they do the initial testing, but in the LEGO Ideas, they had some options available, and they had him from the future 2015, which actually looks really fucking awesome, and I thought was way better. But I do think the hairstyles are better on here. He has that nice Palpatine haircut, probably from the Clone Wars is probably where that mostly came from. And then for McFly, you just have that nice normal one. I mean, it might be normal. I'm not really sure about that. Checking details. Okay, let's get into McFly. So McFly over here has a wonderful lifesaver on him. You have almost exact detail and perfect accuracy to the actual movie outfit that he wears in there from Michael J. Fox. Some printing on the back here for the life preserver. Nothing on the arms. He has a nice nougat color flesh tone here. And he has just a normal blue pants, which is that nice Watto color. I do wish I kind of gave him some high waters or something like that. Cool, a little bit better. But that's pretty much it I have for his overall design. But on his head is two-sided face. So wonderful dual printing here. You have his nice assertive cockiness McFly, the cool McFly, and then over here you have the you built a time machine out of a DeLorean face, and oh my god, this is heavy, Doc, that kind of look, which I really kind of enjoy to have that. I don't really have his face like that. I usually have him as a cool kid. And you can't have Marty McFly without a fucking skateboard. Yes, you have Marty's skateboard, which is actually about the same size of Marty himself, which is almost like a bodyboard, you know. No hoverboard included, which is kind of lame, but you can probably take off the black wheels and give the same effect. It's just not the same though. I kind of wish they gave us a hoverboard for that, but you know, there's more pieces to the set, more money, you know, fuck it, whatever. So that's pretty much it from Marty and his accessory. And over here we have Emmett Brown, Dr. Emmett Brown, who, just like Marty, has two prints on the head. And on the first one is his static old man face. And then on the back side, once we take off the Palpatine hair, oh my god, it's the Great Scott face, which is wonderful. And I love that Christopher Lloyd figure. And that's just fantastic. He has the jumpsuit, if I get this hair back on, he has the jumpsuit that he wears originally in the first film during the testing. You have a stop clock. You have what I'm assuming is either a clipboard or maybe even the letter that was given to him by Marty. Or was that in the yellow jumpsuit? So I think that's kind of what that's in his pocket. I'm not really entirely sure, but maybe. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. No printing else on his legs or whatnot in the arms. And then he comes in a nice flush and you get color. That's pretty much it for the minifigures. Kind of wish Einstein was included just to kind of wrap things up. Or have at least Marty's mom so you can try to seduce your way into things with the minifigures. And role play a little bit, you know, be a creep. And actually, I do wish they gave us maybe like a one by one tile with the picture of his family, or a 1x2 tile with the picture of his family going away. That'd be kind of cool. But you know, money, we didn't get it. So we do get these two minifigures, and let's go to the set. And here we are, the set itself. This is the Time Machine, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And like I said, the original Lego ideas was just way better. It just looked more detailed and actually looked just like the actual DeLorean, just shape-wise. Just body shape-wise, it just really captured that look of that car in this scale. But instead of having that wonderful wedge plate that comes down for the bonnet, they replaced it with a nice stepping system. I use that term nice loosely. This little step with the flat tiles, which kind of looks awful and doesn't really have any angle to it, or really any of these sharp edges that you would need from a DeLorean, which it doesn't capture that very well. But they did add some nice, wonderful details. You do have a lot of the things that make it the time machine. You have all the cables inside. The back end engine is really awesome with the nuclear reactor, I believe is what it was. And that's really awesome. And the inside as well. Plus, this thing has two things that I really enjoy. It has gull wing doors, which even the Countach couldn't get with that. Isn't that fucking amazing? Look how awesome that is. Let me just come up a little bit. Oh god, that's so cool. And it's so easy to do. Fantastic. Okay, let's get into a little more detail. So some details they want to put in there, some Easter eggs, just like I stated earlier in the video with the back of the box, is you have some wonderful printed pieces. You have here the At a Time license plate from the 80s, and then over here to the side I have the wonderful 2015 license plate, which you can easily just exchange that out. Then you also have some wonderful plates in the inside as well in the cockpit once we open this up. So you have a time plate right here, which you can kind of vaguely see. And in there is 1985. That's what it was, not 84. What a dork. And then 1958, which is the year that Lego patented its Lego bricks, which is awesome. And then you have some more dials and whatnot, some standard ones, just kind of generic. A wonderful steering wheel, which does nothing. And this kind of dash can move back and forth, which is awesome. You can get into the cockpit kind of easily with the movable frame in the front of the windshield, which I actually do not like that well because I just felt like they could have built an actual windshield, but they did not. So instead you have these pieces over here which are kind of loose and don't connect to anything, but they just move up and down, which is kind of a bummer in my eyes. And then over on this side, which is the more, you know, the cream of the cream, the cherry on top, is the flux capacitor piece right there. Isn't that fantastic? And it just goes right there in the back, which is a lovely addition. You can't have the time machine without having a flux capacitor. All right, let's go into the multiple changes because this set can change over to 3 different variations. And here is the first one from Back to the Future, Part 1. And then here you have the Back to the Future Part 2 with the Mr. Fusion reactor in the back, which is, I love that design, and I just love that little nod. And you can actually fold these wheels in to have the hover version, which is awesome. And they just kind of fold like that, which is, I think, is probably one of the coolest parts of the set, is the ability to have that. And then it gives you these transparent pieces in the bottom just to hold it up so like it is flying. This is how I usually have the set in its display. I have the set out all the time, actually, because I really like this set. Besides it looking like trash, it is still my favorite, one of my favorite cars in movie history. So, and I don't have the space for the $200 one, so I decided to skip this one, even though I kind of do want it for the light brick to light up. Anyway, so this is what I have for this, and I think it's really cool. But this is the Back to the Future Part 2 version. That's really all you have to change. Let's go to the third one. And here is the Part 3 version, which is actually way more detailed than I think is actually probably the better way to display the set, just because it has so much more to it and it looks better. The engine part over here they add on to it looks way much better and really fills out the actual design of the car. I think it does a little bit. And you have the red wheels, which are actually white walled in the movie, and they don't have that because obviously we're not going to do white walls, which would be kind of cool if they did. And you still have the Mr. Fusion on the side. Nothing else really changes, but you have the Part 3 version, which is pretty dope to have. Like I said, I enjoy it, but honestly, Part 2 is more of my favorite movie, so I like to have that one always in display. That's pretty much it for the customization of the set itself. Man, that's a fucking workout, honestly. If I had to have another major complaint besides just the overall appearance of the set, it would just be how hard it is and time-consuming it is to take this thing apart and customize it as you go. Because you have to take this off to put this on, and you don't get any extra wheels, so you just get the one rim set, and that's it. And that's it. You have to keep sliding those out every time you do it. And take all four off. I don't know, it's kind of complicated. And then you get your license plate, which you manually take off either. I think the DB5 and James Bond did it better with the license plates because it's one of the gimmicks of the set. I kind of wish I did that one. Now, I haven't built the $200 version of the set, and I'm pretty sure they might have done it exactly the same way as this one. But if they made it a little bit easier to transform, then they get my money on that end, because that's what I probably want, is the convenience of transforming this DeLorean. Other than that, yeah, just appearance-wise, but to be honest with you, it's actually still the details kind of win me over on that side when it comes, especially for the nuclear reactor in the back of it, which I really enjoy. Has a nice lot of details, especially like the Ecto 1 from the Ghostbusters one, which actually looks pretty good in a lot of detail as well. So I really do enjoy that, especially the back side, and it really does capture that look of the back of the actual car. But just the front end, it just kind of pisses me off. And the gull wings are just so cool. I kind of wish the Countach had those, which is really awesome. But they're kind of flimsy as well. You can easily shape those in and out. It's an okay set. It just wasn't executed as well as we had hoped for, and we voted for it, which is the worst part. So it's more of a letdown than anything. But I don't want to say this really deserves all the hate that it probably did get when it came out. If it did get any hate, I really know. I didn't really pay attention to reviews when I originally bought it. I just saw it at the store, and I saw it next to Ecto 1, and I was like, hell yeah, dude, I want the DeLorean. I loved it. I love the movies. So I was like, let me just get it. But yeah, no. If it was 2014, I would recommend buying it. But nowadays, I don't know. Maybe just buy a $200 version, unless you don't have the space for it. Then try to find these if you can find it reasonably priced. All right, so let's go into the final thoughts on this one then. Overall, the Lego's idea, Back to the Future 21103 Time Machine DeLorean, is a wonderful mistake. Wonderful because we get a fun-sized, semi-accurate, detailed love letter to the Time Machine DeLorean from the Back to the Future franchise that all of us really adore. A mistake because we let Lego get our hands on this thing that we have pretty much loved since childhood, and they just cut corners and gave us this piece of poop. But it's not a bad poop, it's a nice piece of poop, and I enjoy having this piece of poop in my collection. Do I wish for a remake soon? Yes, I kind of wish they'd do a Speed Champion remake with it and have all the accessories and just the customization this set has. I don't like that all the set pieces are just kind of here, they kind of float around, but that's okay. You can keep them in the box like I did, which is what I do, so I don't lose them. And should you buy this today? I don't think you should buy this today. If you have the money for the $200 version, get it, because it is highly detailed and bigger and looks more like the DeLorean. But if you have the money to buy this one used, I say used. It's mainly a space issue and a budget issue. Honestly, the thing does kind of get racked up in the price. But if you don't have the space for $200 version, then go ahead and buy this one up. But yes, a wonderful mistake. It has a lot of bang for the buck for the 35 it came out for. It's definitely aged, and they have made better so far, and I do wish to make more at this time. So that is the Back to the Future LEGO Ideas 21103 Time Machine DeLorean. A wonderful mistake. All right, everybody, I'm Scott. Those were the bricks, and that was the review. Thank you for watching as always. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. If you have any suggestions for LEGO sets you want to be reviewed, drop them in the comments or just shoot me up and I'll get it up there for you. Anyway, until next time.